February 8th, 2013. Saturday. Holidays! Tomorrow we are going to Champoluc, listening to Scientists by Coldplay and Fix You. So good. Hello there, you guys. Hello there, you guys. Oh my god, welcome back to episode 4 of American Gothic. You guys, how are we doing? How are we doing? Oh my god, the first point to open up this wonderful podcast episode with is that the weather here in Iowa has become so, it's literally peak summer. It's 30 degrees Celsius all days. And I have no idea what that is in Fahrenheit because girl, I do not learn that. And like, should I learn that? I don't know. Like, I love Celsius and just like the simplicity it brings to my life. Anyways, it's been 30 degrees and sunny with no clouds. It's been literally peak summer and it's made me feel so good. Oh my god. But like, I'm literally going to Sweden on Friday and it's going to be 16 degrees. So basically like half of that. It's going to be sunny hopefully, but as I said, Swedish summers are never it. When we're like, sometimes they're it. Yeah, but anyways, I'm going to Sweden on Friday, which is like, I'm very excited for that as I've already said. However, I was just there, so like I'm a bit overwhelmed, but I am excited for that, and like I'll talk about my trip later and like what I have planned. Literally nothing, lol. But yeah, no, the summer vibes have been flowing here in Iowa, and like, is the weather in Iowa pretty much the same across all regions of Iowa? Is the weather roughly the same? Like, I could imagine that would be the case because like it's such a flat country. Are we serious? So like, weathers and clouds, it must move quickly. Like, it's flat. It's as flat as my super sad. But anyways, I've been feeling very energized. I thankfully recovered from my absolutely like traumatizing strep throat, but oh my god, that was a quick recovery, thank god for antibiotics. So yeah, no, like, it has been a blast recovering from that. I've mostly been at home, kind of like gaming, planning, writing, and then preparing for my trip basically. But like, it's been so nice to be like properly back in Iowa, back at work. I love having like a routine. I love my apartment so much. It is insane. Oh my god, have I got any new additions to my apartment? Yes, absolutely. I bought a lamp literally from Walmart, but like, it was a very specific, just like small lamp. I prefer buying things from like the garage sales here in Iowa. It just feels so much more like fun, and like, I don't know, it's like thrifting. Like it literally is thrifting. But I got a new lamp, and another life hack that I've learned recently is that, oh my god, when you are buying bulbs at Walmart, when this occasion arises, one must listen carefully because this is absolutely key. Oh my god. In the Walmart bulb selection, most of the lights there have absolutely awful lighting. Oh my god, I've literally developed a phobia for having bad lighting. Oh my god, when the light is too sterile, too like, clinical, god, it's so worrisome. Like, that generally gives me like a fucking panic attack by how agitated I get these days. Am I becoming one of these like no, what's called like the interior design home gays? I feel like there are so many of them, and I feel like gay guys are so talented at like home decor. I'm not one of them. Like, I will never reach those levels. And I mean, once I get some money, I kind of can afford someone to like come and help me, bitch, I'll be paying for one of the gays to like come and like redo my house to make it like super with the lighting. So, lighting has become the most important thing in my entire world. And okay, so when you're at Walmart, let's get back to it. When you're at Walmart, when looking for bulbs, you don't pick any of the ones you see, because the ones that you see are like looky hidden, and it's like one out of like 1,000. It's the vintage style bulbs, because they have like this like super orangey and warm light, and oh my god, it makes everything look so much better. Like, I'm actually looking at my light right now, and I love the look of it. Is that supposed to be on whilst filming? I don't know. But anyways, I just love the feeling of a warm light. It gives me so much euphoria and coziness and calmness. So yeah, that's a new addition there. Do I have anything else? Oh my god, I've also gotten 2 more new candles for the setup. I am doubling my my risk of like burning up my whole entire newly acquired amazing apartment. I'm putting it on the line for this, for like the ambience that 2 extra light gives. Like it truly looks so nice. It feels very cozy. I love like candles. I actually have another fun little like side activity that I'm doing and I'm planning. What this activity is, I want to like host a live American Gothic event somewhere in Iowa City. And I mean, this event will basically be me sitting at like a booth, or like my vision for this wonderful event is for me to be sitting in like with like a booth basically, and having Swedish cinnamon buns like hand out to people, and then also having like some special bookmarks, and also bringing the real life field journal and getting some of you guys to contribute to it. I still haven't decided on the prompt yet, but like obviously I'll get to that in the future. But I feel like that would be such a cozy and fun thing. I'm actually in contact with a bookstore in Iowa City, and so yeah, like it'll probably happen like relatively soon, and I really want that to be a fun thing. I feel like that would be such a fun way to like meet some of you guys, or just like meet any random person like in the bookstore and like getting to talk to them about things. It will actually be very cute, and I think I'm gonna do that relatively soon after I arrive back from Sweden. And speaking of that, I arrived back in Sweden. I'm gonna be in Sweden for 2 weeks. And how am I feeling for this? I'm actually very excited to go back to my hometown. I'm basically from Gothenburg, Sweden, which is like the second biggest city in like Sweden. And I mean, like it feels quite big. Like I feel like it's actually a very nice size of a city, I'd say, because I think it's like maybe 500,000 people living there, maybe a bit less. I don't know if that's totally off, but it is very, it's a very cozy city. It's very like pretty. It's right by like the ocean, the Västkusten, which is called like the west, yeah, the west coast literally in Sweden. And that's like, there are like so many like nice islands. Like the archipelago is so, it's so beautiful. Like, oh my god, that's what I miss most about my summers here in Iowa, is that I don't get to like visit Sweden at all during the summers, because like, oh my god, in the summer, you guys, it's straight out of a fairy tale. Except for the days when it's like really cold and rainy, but when the sun's out, oh my god, it is the most unbeatable place in the whole entire world. Like the summer, obviously, like as we know with Sarah Larson, the midnight sun. Like summer is truly never over in the summers. Lol. No, because like the sun never goes down. It's like it's obviously it's such a nice time. It's so bright, and midsummer as well. I actually can't even talk about it, because like especially midsummer, it's like the peak of all celebrations, and I won't be able to celebrate that. But I'll have to like celebrate it here in Iowa somehow. I think there must be a place somewhere, but like it's not really the same. There is just something so special about celebrating midsummer in like the small like town where I live, because I actually don't live, or like my family doesn't live in like the middle of Gothenburg. We live in kind of like the out, like quite like a far way out. It's like a 30-minute drive out, and it's so like peaceful in the summer. We have like a field in front of our, in like the like in front of like our house basically, that has little cows roaming around. Oh, bitch, I'm a cow. Moo. I love that there's a song. Wait, how does it go? Bitch, I'm a cow. Bitch, I don't bitch it. I don't say meow. Moo. Moo, motherfuckers. Ugh, my vulgar language. But yeah, no, Swedish summers truly are peak, and yeah, I've been starting to like experience a slice of that, as well as seeing all of my like old friends. Like I did live there for like over, like basically since I was 10. So I like a big part of my life is still and will always be there. Like my dream when I get older is to be able to have a house along the west coast somewhere. Ugh, manifest, you guys, manifest, manifest. But like, what do I actually plan whilst I'm there? I think like I'm gonna be working like a lot of the days, so like doing that, and then obviously seeing all of my friends, hang out with my family, and maybe I could film some fun stuff. And another thing that I really want to like try and do this summer, and like in the future in general, is like also try and engage with Iowan like organizations or like smaller businesses, and like finding ways to like, I don't know, promote them and like help them, which like collaborate in fun ways. So if you guys have any, like suggestions over like fun organizations to like do things, like it could be like literally anything, any business, like a person. If you guys have any like suggestions or like things that you think would like be a fun fit, send it my way. Because yeah, I think community is such a fun and good thing, and it just makes everyone feel good. Okay, guys, I actually think it's time to reveal or like talk about the second field prompt that I have chosen for all of us. Let's first give it a listen and see what we think. When did the world first reveal its vastness to you? This is an interesting prompt that has been mustered. You guys may be wondering, okay, well, Philip, what do you mean by this? What is this lingo that you're talking about? You're talking like a, oh, I don't know. Like, honestly, like, who cares? I think the wording is great. When did the world reveal its vastness to you? This is about, or for me, this is about the first time that experienced very new feelings. Also, like, when you experience something that just like shows you how much bigger the world is and like how many more opportunities there are there in the world. When is that experience? Like, when did you see that or like feel that for the first time? It could be like traveling somewhere. I talk about traveling so much in this podcast, but I mean, I still think that like a switch up in environment is so good. It could just be an experience maybe at work, or like you're at a concert and feel something new. It could be you trying a new hobby, trying acting, for trying dancing for the first time, literally anything that makes you realize that there are other possibilities out there. And the example that I am going to pull from is from one of the bravest times in my life. I was so brave at this age. I was fearless. And that is the time when I auditioned for Swedish Idol. That's oh my god, that brings me back to my childhood. Is that X Factor or Swedish Idol? That's Idol, or like American Idol. Yes, I auditioned for Swedish Idol, and like I know may not sound like a very big decision, but like for me, like I was not very sure. Like I wasn't fully set on, being like I never thought that I was the best singer. I didn't really think I had a chance of winning. I think it was just more like a YOLO moment, and I kind of went for it and saw that like, oh, okay, but like we'll go through the details. But for me, this was like a pivotal moment in my life because it was my first like fucking IDGAF YOLO things to happen. So yeah, let's rewind. Oh my god, this story is so many. I just remember some details and oh. Okay, so we rewind to 2019. At this time, I had recently turned 18, and I guess I was gonna like start that off with a fucking bang because around my birthday, I think, it actually starts by my dearest friend, Alexandra, one of my best friends. We've been friends since such a long time in Sweden, and we were like randomly hanging out at her house, and I think like the just like the talks of Idol just like came up like naturally and randomly, and we just like talking about it casually, and I think maybe that like I think one of us, I think she might have suggested like Philip just audition, or like maybe I asked, like I don't know, because growing up, oh my god, I was always singing. Before she didn't say I couldn't sing, I was always singing growing up, and it was like I don't know, like I always loved performing when I was younger, and I think I'll get into this like in another episode. So I've been singing since I've been like a really young kid, and like when I was a child, oh my god, oh the notes I could hit pre-puberty, like puberty had been like a truck apparently. Though I do still speak so squeakily and like so like maybe it actually should have hit even harder, girl. I went like I actually think that if I was straight, like my voice would be so much lower. But like there's something in my brain that like makes me talk in a certain way. And we'll be like, this is so much more like, oh, healthy for like my STEM band, whatever that's called, my vocal cords. But anyways, I've always loved singing and performing, so it's always been a part of my like identity, kind of. Like when I think back to like my middle school experience, I was so like, I did not give a fuck. I was singing all the time. I always wanted all the lead roles. I sung in middle school, so like obviously she knew that like I could sing like relatively well, but I never like myself proclaimed to be the best singer. I was just like, well, I guess I can kind of sing, hit notes, but I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't ever really, a dream or goal of mine to become a singer, but it was more like a fun, like random thing. And I basically like, I think when I was suggested, and for some reason I agreed to send in a cover of me singing. You guys guess the song. Guess the song. The song was I See Fire. So off key. I see fire inside the mountain. I see. That song was a song that 18-year-old Philip mustered up to perform as an audition for Idol. And I mean, I can sing that song quite well. I think the trick with singing is to pick an artist of the same gender, because I was always saying these, like, obviously I was saying Ariana Grande, I was saying, foreshadowing, I was saying all these like female pop stars all the time, which like naturally is so much more difficult for a man to sing, because like the octaves and like the like, I don't know what's it called, like the tones are like so much higher, the chords are like so much higher obviously in female songs. But I mean, am I gonna go around singing male songs? Absolutely not, except for I See Fire for some god forsaken reason. But I mean, it is kind of a cute song. So I recorded that, I sent that in, and then I remember this moment so vividly. Like, this was like my make it moment. Like, that's what I thought, at least. We were in high school. I was in class, and suddenly I get a phone call. Oh my god, I got a phone call, you guys, and it was, I remember vividly still. It was like a lady calling, being like, "Hey, is this Philip you want on?" And I was like, "Yeah, blah blah." And she was like, "Well, we have seen your audition, and we want you to come and audition in person in real life." Oh, can you guys imagine the euphoria I felt? I don't think I've ever felt that level of like euphoria ever since, because that was my like, oh my god, I felt so special. And I think the reason why this is so hard is because obviously I've been watching American Idol and like X Factor my whole entire life. I grew up watching X Factor. Like, I feel like I grew up in, like obviously I lived in England as well. It's like X Factor UK. Grew like living in England during like the 2006 to like 10 X Factor run. I feel like that was unmatched. Like the stars that became like obviously One Direction, hello, Little Mix, like the bands were huge. Like, it was such a big thing. So I think I still had that, like, oh my god, obviously like Idol is like the biggest thing in the whole entire world. So getting validation from them in a way, oh, that was like, that was truly something else. It was so fun. And like, it sounds so dramatic and like over exaggerated, but in the moment, I don't think you guys understand. I felt like the coolest girl in the whole entire world. So yeah, no, I basically, obviously I accept to do the real audition, but then she was like, "Oh, well, we actually want you to pick a new song." And I think they even made me send songs, and like they chose. So yeah, what song selection did I choose? Like, what song selection did they like allow me to do? It was a song called Love Me Harder by Ariana Grande and The Weeknd. Ariana Grande! I chose Love Me Harder as the song. And I mean, that song is just so good. And like, The Weeknd obviously has a verse in it. So I feel like it actually, in hindsight, it actually was a good pick for me, because I just like sing The Weeknd's verses, and like it would naturally be a bit more similar to my own like tone, or like my own vocal range. So yeah, I picked that song. They agreed, and like I was so excited. I was so excited. And oh my god, I had forgotten about this, but I remember leading up to this, I was so in it. Like, I locked the fuck in. I was like, oh my god, I actually have to make this work, and I have to go for it full force. And I go, wow, that was so fun from younger me to like really go all in. Like, despite the outcome, like I just love the initiative. So I actually booked vocal lessons for myself. I remember so vividly. It was in Torslanda, which is like the furthest possible way away from me, but it was with my friend's vocal coach, I think. Jenny. Was that true, Jenny? Like, was that the contact? If you're watching this, so yeah, I basically do vocal lessons, and it's very fun. Like, I'm reconnecting with my voice because I hadn't been singing for a long time because I did vocal lessons, but only until I was like 15, I think, or like 14, so it had been a while. But it was so fun doing all of that. I felt super prepared, so I brought my two friends, Alexandra and Carla, to go to the audition with me. Like, and Alexandra arrived a bit earlier, she was there through like the earliest parts of it. And oh my god, the one thing I'll say about the auditions for American Idol and like probably X Factor is that the queues are so long. It takes so unbelievably long, but of course, like, that does make sense because every person in the queue, is like, I think let in. I think every single person is actually let in to audition. It's like, obviously that process is gonna take such a long time, but oh my god, we arrived at like 9 in the morning, I think. And like, what happens is that you like stand in a line for such a long time, and it like in the beginning it was at like the outside, but like as we slowly moved our way and like we got inside and stuff, and then finally it's like the main waiting room where like everyone's super nervous. I think there's like probably like maybe like 50 people in there, and you kind of like have your badge and everything. And like that's when it really kicks in for me because I was so stressed about this. And like I low-key also sometimes have a hard time with remembering what key the song is supposed to be in. So like you could be love me harder or like love me harder. Like sometimes I have a hard time remembering which one I choose, and maybe that's just like a skill issue or like not training enough. So like I walk in to this first set of juries. It's basically two guys sitting at a desk. And they're like staring right at you. It's like this big auditorium, no, like bigger room. So I basically start off with the tune. Tell me something I need to know. And I sing it. It feels rushed already in my head, but like I could not stop myself. It just kept on flowing out of me. I guess I am a rusher. I love talking quickly. I love singing quickly, apparently. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? They say gay guys walk quickly, girl. No, that is not the whole picture. They talk quickly, they sing quickly, they do everything quickly. And I mean, the judges were not that impressed. And I was like, okay, well, I guess that is my dreams were crushed already. But no, there was an angel slash devil on my side because I was led another chance, and they were like, okay, well, Philip, pick a new song. A new song on the spot, and fucking stupid ass idiot me had not chosen a backup song. Like, obviously I was so not prepared for this at all, so I had not picked a proper backup song. So obviously I choose my favorite song of all time because that's like the only song that could like possibly flow into my mind. And guess what that song is? So baby, come light me up, and baby, I'll let you on it. Ow! Into You is my favorite song of all time, and that's the one that I suggested to sing. And boy, did I do that! I chose that song. I locked the fuck in, and I said, "I'm so into you," and it was low key a serve. A serve. It was much more of a serve than the previous one because I was into it. I was in like that. Obviously, like the Ariana, but it's like kind of the Michael, like da 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 da. Like for some reason, I went into what I thought that role was, and apparently it worked because they were much more impressive. Like, wow, Philip, we love this so much more. Blah blah. Were they lying and like just trying to get me through to like expose myself online? That's a tale you truly never know with reality and any production here in this world or anything in this world. But I basically get through that and I was like, wow, okay, well, slay. I go through another round of juries, and this time they're like recording me. They have me more like professional audio. I sing the song, I'm out. So basically what happens then is that I basically have to wait until they contact me again. So that was just like weeks upon weeks of me having no idea if I was going to make it through to like the actual real jury. This all happened also like in January and February. God, I was also probably so pale and like acne ridden then, but like who cares? Oh my god, I had a good heart and intentions. But a spring's day in May, I get a phone call by Idol Sweden. And they basically say that, Philip, you're in. You're through to the final round of the auditions. And I was like, oh my god. And like the final rounds are the ones where you actually get to meet the real judges, like the ones that you see on TV. And like to me, that is quite big, or that felt pretty big, because not everyone gets to like meet these people, like these judges, like be judged, or also like be judged by these people for saying it. Oh my god. I was such a brave soul. I get approved for this, or I get through to this. I get ready. However, there is one dilemma that riddles my mind and riddles my soul. And that is that I was planning, or that I was scheduled, like fully scheduled. Oh my god, I cannot believe it. I cannot believe I fucking did this. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. I had a scheduled day to have a full on jaw surgery. And this was no like regular jaw surgery. I was like, I don't know, like this was a jaw surgery. So this basically meant that I was gonna be put under, like with anesthesia. I was gonna be like, obviously like everything put under for a long time. They were going to operate my whole entire jaw, pull it forward, and I think that story will have to be a whole nother story time, because that was also such a dramatic time, or like dramatic happening in my life. But basically I was planning on having this massive procedure, which was for like actual medical purposes to like improve my jaw. And like this was also like all funded by the Swedish government. And like, oh my god, the Swedish government, free like dental care, free healthcare in every way, absolutely amazing. But I basically got in this opportunity, or like this thing, to do this jaw surgery for free in Sweden for my health. But I was not gonna let this jaw surgery interrupt with my idol and like apparently artist stardom plans. So I had the dilemma of not doing the audition or rescheduling the jaw surgery. Bitch, I was on the phone in a minute, in an instant, calling my surgeon, being like, hey, can we like delay this for a couple of weeks so that I can audition for Swedish Idol? It is so funny yet so iconic. The doctor was on it. He was on my side. He said, Philip, absolutely. We are doing this. You are doing this. You're going to go for this. We will rebook your time, or like your jaw surgery, to after the audition. So suddenly the stakes were raised even further, and my dignity for like in front of these doctors hanged on me getting through this audition. Because I mean, what a fucking embarrassment. Like, I delay this whole thing that they'd planned out for me to do for free to like improve my health. But no, bitch, I was going to go for it. I also forgot to mention that the first audition round, I was there for, I think we recorded this like 14 hours. Oh my god, I think I left at like 11 in the evening. Like, what the actual hell? That is such an intense day. But yeah, no, I get ready further for my big audition, my moment, my break. I train further with my vocal coach, and we also choose a backup song. And can you guys guess what that backup song was? So it's gonna be another mountain. Yes, The Climb by Miley Cyrus. Oh my god, I absolutely love that song still. What an amazing song. And that also like it's such a nostalgic song for me, because I performed that in like theater school when I was younger. So it was very like wholesome, and I thought that, you know, that authenticness, that, you know, personal connection could drive me to success. And I get ready for this. I feel quite prepared the day of. This time, however, it's even earlier than last time. I think I have to get up at like 5 in the morning. I get to the place and I bring my friend Philly. She was my moral support this time. The line is still like very long, but like not as long as before, obviously, because, you know, they've selected out a few group of special, most talented individuals. And I felt so amazing walking around there. I felt like I was such a cool kid. I'd always like yearned to be a part of like, I don't know, TV or media, or like some form of like entertainment in some ways. Like being inside of, you know, like the studios where like the real judges were. That was like a very cool experience for me, and it ties well into like the prompt. I was there like all day with my friend Flea. It was a very good time. But then the moment finally comes for me to go in and audition for the big bosses in town. And in my year, there were like four iconic juries. There was one especially called Anish Bagay. He's like truly like an icon. And then another music producer, and this will come back to haunt me in like literally a few minutes because I step in and I see the judge panel. I'm sitting there, like I'm standing there, so fucking stressed out. And the outfit I'm wearing when I'm looking back is absolutely diabolical. It's like a white hoodie and this like black t-shirt on, or like it's not like a diabolical outfit, but like it's very different to how I would dress now, which like makes sense obviously because I was literally 18 at this point. Girl, I was 18 at this point. I was so young. And I also had super long hair, which looks absolutely awful when looking back, but I mean the glow up is real. Okay, so like I step in, the first thing they say is, sorry, we need to do that again. Excuse me. They basically asked me to walk out and then walk back in again because they had fucked something up. Oh my god. I pace back the exact way that I came from. Then I open the door again. Voila. Hey, it's me, Philip. I say some like insane, crazy stuff in the beginning that I actually don't know the words to because I have never once rewatched my Idol audition except for like the first time. So I have truly no idea what I say, and you guys will keep it that way. However, I do like talk about this audition sometimes when I get drunk with friends because I do love embarrassing myself and like exposing parts of myself that like shouldn't maybe be exposed. But like obviously this is so harmless. I step in again, I say hi, blah 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 blah, and then they ask me like, if it will Philip, what song are you singing like into you? Or like maybe they already knew that actually. And I say, yeah, I love Ariana Grande. She's my favorite queen of all time. Guess what one of the judges say? Oh well, Philip, you know that I was one of the writers of this song. Like producers. One of the producers of Into You by Ariana Grande was sitting in the jury panel, and like the longer the time goes and I look back at this, the worse it gets because oh my god, I would have been fangirling the fuck out of him these days when like now that I know a bit more about music production, like writing and stuff. But yeah, what could I do, bitch? The only thing I could do was open my mouth and give it my best, give it my best. And I mean, that I did do. I was still so stressed before because of like the tone to start on. I got it wrong, I think, or like it just didn't feel good when I was saying it. So I was like, okay, well, I guess not. However, I was a fighter. I was a fighter because I finished singing the song and they're like, Philip, we kind of like your vibe. Like, did they even say that? I actually have no idea. Maybe it was coping. I think they said something positive and nice before they said, but no, Philip, we don't see it, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, but like, can I sing The Climb by Miley Cyrus? No, sadly. I walk out with a solemn and defeated face, and then life goes back to normal. Literally, it does. No, like obviously, I was so happy. But like my friend Philly was like, Philip, how did it go? I was like, no, sadly, it's just not happening. That was kind of a sad end to it, but it was so very meaningful. However, like the drama does not end there. Oh my god. So with Idol Sweden, you never know if the clip is going to be posted because they don't post clips of every single person that they film, even at the jury panel. So like you never really know. So like you're kind of like watching like the Idol YouTube, like keeping a track of it to like see if your audition will be out. And like, did I want my audition to be out? I think so because like obviously that's like so funny to like have it out online. Like that was kind of the point. Like I did want like exposure in some ways, like see what the fuck would happen. I'm basically, it takes a long while, but then I think when I'm at work one day, I see that my audition has been uploaded to YouTube. I watch it. I like almost have a panic attack and like almost like crying because I hated the way I sounded. I hated everything about it, but I mean, it was out, there was no going back. So, you know, it comes out and I wasn't expecting much. I was not expecting much, and I was not hoping for much either. This video to do anything, because thankfully it never aired on like actually on like live TV, like when they like broadcast it, but on YouTube they thought to post me. They thought to post me. So yeah, it comes out on YouTube. I'm basically working at a grocery store that summer, so I'm like minding my own business there, having a blast when I'm sitting in the register. I'm scanning the products. I'm scanning the milk, the eggs, the chocolate, and then suddenly, wait, you're the guy from Swedish Idol, right? My heart has never dropped as much in my entire life and has never dropped as much since. That's a lie. It's dropped so much more worse since. But at this time, oh my god, what an actual shock to the system that was. It was like the first time I'd ever been recognized by anybody that I like didn't like, you know, personally know, or I kind of know. The fact that it was for this Idol audition video that I absolutely despised. My response was no, and I denied it. I like never said to this young boy that it was me in the video. Gaslight gatekeep girl boss, you guys. GG, because that was all I had to do that summer. It's not like many other people came in. Like maybe there were a couple few, but that did kind of spark something truly in me. And it was that, well, you know, if I'm gonna be known for anything, I know this is so dramatic in hindsight, but like also like iconic manifestations. If I'm gonna be known for anything, it will not just be my Idol legacy. I decided that in that moment. And then, I mean, in the future, YouTube was started, TikTok was started. And yeah, a lot of fun stuff occurred after this. And that's why I see this as, you know, like kind of relating to the story of coming into this like new magical world and like experiencing something new and fresh and kind of opening your eyes a bit. That was what I felt with my Idol experience. And yeah, I mean, that kind of ties the knot up well for this whole story and, you know, the field prompt. So, anyway, guys, when did the world first open its vastness to you? Now I think it's time to get into the story. Ooh. Chapter 1, Episode 4. Strings, flourishes, a beating pulse. The music seemed to tingle through Felix's senses in a way nothing else ever had. Oh, very strange. He seemed to be in some sort of storage shed. It was dark and damp, but right at the back sat yet another door, though this one glowed golden along its edges. Felix was right at it, nudging carefully, yet with haste. He squinted, then suddenly had his eyes sealed shut. Curses! The golden light pouring from the chandeliers was blinding, and when Felix opened his eyes, all he saw was a molten glow. The only other thing that reminded him of this were the largest creations of the night sky. Bright explosions of color so rare, alluring, yet terrifying. Felix stepped forward, trying to take it all in, before suddenly realizing he was in a place utterly foreign to him. His vision was blurred from all the sensations, but from what he could make out, he was on some sort of elevated surface. All of the commotion and music coming from onward and downward. Commotion. Hold on. That meant there were other people here? He got to the end of what had revealed itself to be a balcony and leaned over its edge and saw yet another sight he had never seen before. Below him, a sea of people drifted about, all dressed in lavish suits or impossible gowns, and moving so elegantly it resembled a flowing stream. One figure attracted him particularly. A figure with ember-long hair that followed like a flame. He could make out the slightest glimpse of a female face, but as she turned, he could see no face at all, as it was covered with a mask? He looked around and suddenly realized they were all wearing masks, or more accurately, elaborate adornments upon their faces. Some had exceedingly long feathers, others turned the wearer into a completely different animal. The amber haired girl suddenly fixed her gaze upon him. Oh God, not this again! But as Felix looked behind himself, he saw that he was right in front of a clock tower. He didn't seem to be casting a shadow either, so guess he was partially in the clear. He couldn't stop himself from walking along the edge, gazing out over the crowd. He had never once seen a person dressed like this, yet alone hundreds. Was this what masquerades were? He had read about them in books, but those tales were from eons ago and involved a lot of magic. Dear might, he muttered, as he stepped into the stairwell he had conveniently just located, and that conveniently led down. What was he doing? Whatever. Okay, right. The enchanting music was even louder down on the floor. Its tune bore into Felix, setting his bones ablaze. He swore music had never hit like this before. It was strange seeing the figures up close. They looked even more foreign than before. There was just something in the way they walked and danced, so elegant yet precise. It was strange seeing the figures up close. They looked even more foreign than before. There was just something in the way they walked and danced, so elegant yet precise. The structure he was currently in was much larger than it had previously seemed. The transparent glass roof stretched eerily close to the stars, golden paint gleaming across nearly every surface. The entire hall thrummed with amber light. He paced along the edge of the room, avoiding bumping into anyone. There was a particularly peculiar object right at the end of the room. It sparkled so brightly, and Felix found himself pulled toward it. The evening was turning later, and he sensed a shift in energy. The people had stilled, and it seemed like they were waiting for something. Felix neared the object, and up close he could make out a yellow glowing orb of sorts. It seemed to be some sort of rock? Liquid? He couldn't quite tell. Right then, the lights suddenly dimmed, and everyone's gazes fell upon the central stage. Out walked the fiery-haired girl from earlier. She took a deep breath, and then let out one of the most enchanting sounds he'd ever heard. Felix realized that she was actually singing. It sounded more like a spell being chanted to lull everyone into a state of bliss. He was transfixed. So transfixed, he realized that he had moved far away from the orb and currently stood grazing a tall, bulky figure that was as transfixed as him. Felix's breath caught, and oh dear, when would his stupidities end? The figure stilled even further, and Felix tried to carefully move away. The figure turned his head and looked down toward where Felix had just stood. This was the first time he had seen one of the people's faces up close. Despite the mask covering his face, he could make out sharp angles and beautiful dark green eyes that pierced right through him. Another feature Felix hadn't expected before were the ears. The ears. Long and pointed. Being so mesmerizing, ethereal, tall. Elves. Felix was currently in an elven masquerade ball in Lord knows what part of the world or cosmos. His heart started thundering, and the elven man, still gazing towards him, reached out and his hands found Felix's. expected the hands to be cold. The stories had always painted elves as untouchable beings, beautiful in the way winter was beautiful. But no, they were as warm as a summer's breeze and firm in a way that surprised him. Felix's heart skipped yet another beat, and his cheeks flustered. The elf's eyes widened, and his gaze was now directly meeting Felix's. He could see him. Felix was not sure what his eyes betrayed him of, but the man's gaze was filled with shock, ice, and intrigue. Felix immediately pulled his hand away, which was a task more difficult than expected, and took a few steps back. "Wait, who are you?" the man asked, with an inquisitive yet grounded tone. Felix took one last look at the most radiant being he'd ever seen and ran. Felix was trapped in a maze of now identified elves and couldn't find a way out. What if the elf man thought he was some sort of intruder or spy and ordered everyone to find him? Not only did he voluntarily infiltrate an elven masquerade, he was also caught by a man whom he'd now never be able to forget. As if he'd actually have time to forget anything. Bold. He was just about to give up and accept his fate when a higher feminine voice called out right in front of him. "You silly, silly boy." Felix looked toward where it came from, but saw nothing. "Come this way." A bell started chiming, faint enough to barely be heard over the heavenly notes sung by the red-haired elf. Lacking any better options, Felix followed its ringing. The mysterious being led him back toward the stairwell, and he hurried up it, heaving as quietly as he could. Once up the balcony, the bell ringing ceased. "Did you feel that?" was all his elusive savior said, before vanishing once again into silence. Felix knew the answer. He took hold of the door handle leading back into the forest. As he stepped through it, the world stilled as it had before. The ember haze of the forest had been replaced with dark branches and silence. He was back home.